Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms. Let's get into your January reading. We get into your major themes first and then we'll look at your tarot and oracle. So the major theme here is growth in the first quarter moon. That's taking place in the first month for you. So that's a really nice start to a year, honestly, right? Because there is definitely some results that are showing from your previous efforts, but there is also growth of new opportunities and new developments taking place in whatever it is you are involved in at this time. So let's get into some details. We have bow as the first major theme, which is you are highly thought of, so you are being regarded and respected for your talents, your skills, and people are just in general kind of appreciating you a lot in this month. Then we have wealth, so there could be a growth of money and also respect coming here. There is an enhancing of I think the connections that you're building, but also the legacy and the goals that you have kind of showing their results here. There's more expansion in that way. So wealth corresponds not only to the financial aspect of things, but also the wealth of resources that you have to invest in yourself, to enhance your worth and things like that. Then we also have mule, which says someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. So you could be dealing with someone here who is quite literally the words that are described already, but I feel you have a lot of tact and you know how to get through to them in some way. So it could be like a stubborn client or a stubborn partner, things like that, because we still have Capricorn season going on in the first few weeks, and then on the 20th the sun moves into Aquarius, and then we have Aquarius season. So you know, we can be dealing with other people here a lot, and then we move on to like identifying our own skill sets and shadows, things like that. Shared resources can come about. Perhaps you and your partner have different ideas of investing, and you know, you're kind of negotiating on that. Or there could be different ways that, you know, you're acquiring loans, and perhaps you've not thought about a certain method, and now in this particular month we have some new breakthroughs coming out. So anything that has been stagnant basically is being shaken out. So stubbornness as well is, I see the unwilling to change, and that resistance is not going to work very well in this month because Uranus is going to go direct again. We have Mars and Mercury also going direct. So there is a change in direction, and kind of change is inevitable in this first month. So resistance is kind of a little bit futile here, okay, but it is happening here in order to grow certain aspects of us and also our relationships. So I mean, there's not really much point to resist here. So whatever it is, it's going to work out in a way that it enhances your wealth and health as well. Okay, so we have Five of Wands. This talks about that conflict can be an internal conflict, can be competition of sorts. It can indicate ego battles and things like that. We have the King of Swords. Very decisive, can also be quite stubborn in that way. So has a set idea about something and is very resolute, and then is unwilling to change because they validate their reasoning through the experiences that they have had and so on. So there's not much to say that would counter their argument, but they do have a lot of experience in something. So again, we can be talking about financial advisors, for example, and or like boss figures, authority figures. You want to have a conversation with them. Let's say you want to, you know, up level yourself and be in a more leadership role, or you want to have some more time for yourself, a little bit more flexibility, whatever the case is for you. Over here it can talk about putting your points across very clear, but then there is also competition for the higher position. In terms of partnerships, it can be again many clients that you could get, and you are like communicating yourself very clearly, delivering expertise and solutions and things like that. But there could be either that there's too much work, too many people that you are catering to, and it can feel a little bit confusing at times. But also it can be that someone disagrees and there is a sort of back and forth that goes on. But either way, like I was feeling earlier, you have a lot of tact and skill in dealing with things, and the King of Swords is saying exactly that. We have Two of Cups, which again corresponds with the partnership vibe that we were seeing earlier. So partnering up in a business sense or a romantic sense is going to be quite beneficial here. And with these two combined, there could be a battle of words or wits or ideas. Perhaps there is some miscommunication that needs to be cleared out. But I do see a lot of harmony as well. So it's not going to be that you're fighting the entire month or that you're in dissonance with your love life or your dating life, in any way. You're forming friendships, you're still kind of keeping the close ones here. There's not much, drastic difference or change, a kind of push and pull dynamic, not really. It is in large harmonious, but there is some type of stressor in some capacity. It's kind of feeling like you can't pull yourself in 5 different directions, right? So there is a desire to focus on something here, and there might be a lot of things going on because, like I said, planets changing direction, they kind of shift the focus and the way that they act. Mercury, when retrograde, is more introverted or introspective, and when it goes direct, it wants to go. It wants to exercise logic, reason, talk a lot, and this and that, negotiate contracts, etc. Same goes with Mars. When it is retrograde, it is more internally oriented and it's moving a lot, but it's doing so behind the scenes or reflecting from the past, picking up past projects and so on. And then it's kind of working through that, polishing it, putting in more focus. Meanwhile, when it's straight, it wants to just go on full steam ahead. Uranus, when it is retrograde, it is like the epiphanies come from within, if at all, if we choose to tap into it. And it's more about settling into the changes that have happened during Uranus when it was direct, not, shaking the status quo so much that it threatens our survival is when Uranus is retrograde. But when it is straight again, it wants to bring about fateful changes, like this gotta go. I don't care if this is pleasant or not pleasant or whatever, because first of all, it's a planet, and second, it's a transpersonal planet. It's not connected with our immediate mind and body. It is more related with the collective at large, so it is not going to take into account the subjective experiences and wants to make only objective decisions. So some changes can feel painful to us, but they are absolutely necessary. Meanwhile, some feel we're good, and they're also very necessary. So I feel like there is a mix of these two tides kind of shifting and changing of these 3 planets. By the way, if you want to stay tuned with what the aspects are and how they're affecting, and also how much are you being affected, I am already posting a lot of transit information for you guys for each zodiac, so you can take a look at your rising sign, sun sign, moon sign, and so on, and see where you lie in that scale. All of that is in my community page, by the way, so you can subscribe and you will be getting access to all of that completely free. So we have Rise coming up next. There is definitely growth and expansion here. You're transcending previous limitations, like I said earlier. With the Mule and 5 of Wands, could be a previous misunderstanding that is coming into resolution, by the way. So if you're already going through a sort of ego battle with someone or not getting on the same page with your teammates, your partners, etc., then it's likely that that's shifting out and being more clear in the coming month. And then we have, what do you really want? So certain decisions could be being made here by you. What is really sticking out is, again, the image that I was getting, that you're spreading yourself in like 5 different directions. It could be 5 clients, 5 people, 5 relationships, or 5 tasks, whatever it is. There is some sort of juggling and multitasking going on, but you're not fully in resonance with each and everything. I don't see obligation. It just feels like there's a lot of tasks or a lot of people asking for your attention. It's about split focus, but internally you're wanting a specific thing that you can look into. So this comes up so that you make some calculated risks in a way, or be like strategic and clever with your decision making, because you want to find harmony here, and it's definitely there for you in this month. But it does need some sort of adjustment when we talk about the fives. So it's asking you, do you want to focus on this? Yes or no? No, then, maybe delegate it to someone else, or, find an easier way to do it, or just stop doing that work altogether, depending on what is possible for you in that moment. And that way you kind of trim down all of the areas that you're splitting your focus into, and you can really drill down and get the best of whatever you do want. We have pareidolia, which says symbolism and seeing things in different places where you least expect it. So it could be chance meetings with old friends, and you kind of hit it off again, you kind of get back in touch, and things like that could happen. It can also be that you get some dreams, some signs and synchronicities from different places, perhaps seeing different types of numbers, and that would be one example, or certain types of animals and birds and things like that could be a way of sending you signs and symbolism here. Kind of going with, there is an overall peaceful vibe, but there are definitely some fiery aspects where there is passion and excitement, but also some sort of adjustment or strife. But all in all, the large picture is very peaceful and goes in a clear direction overall. It's not very murky or dark, so it's not as much about the mystery and the unknown. It is quite visible, and it's visible in the external world. So again, with the wealth, it could be that you've worked on something for a long time and you've racked up the wealth for yourself. So you kind of see that outside of you in this coming month. Then we have immersion. It's about this. See, again, we have 8 tentacles there, so it's as though you're again spreading yourself in many different directions. It's a very nice thing for experimentation, but if you're trying to commit to like many different things at the same time, it's likely that you will tire yourself out. It's not that you cannot do it, it's not that you're less competent or etc., none of that. It's just that you can feel a little bit dissatisfied with how much time you have or how much focus you're able to put into each and everything. Of course, there are some things we must do and all of that, but this is apart from the things that we must do. So, but it's also a very nice card for experimenting with different things, kind of meeting people from different backgrounds as well, is characterized in the 5 of Wands. And, you would expect that certain cultures don't go along, but then, you are working with them, and it's like, okay, so how do we work with our differences? We all have different habits, we all come from different places, priorities, etc. So how can we make all of this work? Right? So that includes conflict resolution or management and so on. So if you work with people like HR or something, then this is where you're really good and very skilled at making harmony happen. You're very immersed in the things that you do. There are some things that are very exciting for you in this month, and you want to be able to spend a lot more time in there. Okay? Yeah, it's a whole dynamic. I hope I'm making myself clear though. It's a simultaneous feeling of I want to try everything, but then I want to do everything well, or I want to do this particular thing really well, something of that sort. And it's about finding that right balance and striking that kind of equality here, which you will be doing in this month. Okay, it also feels like a sense of peace coming through when you are doing what you enjoy, or you are in harmony, sort of being with people that you enjoy, doing things you like, etc. You feel a very strong wave of peace, and it's very noteworthy. Okay, the level of fulfillment is quite high here. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we get. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, January, please. We have South Node, 4th house, and Virgo. Yeah, there's a lot of loyalty, financial blessings, more stability in the home and family environment. There is healing and rejuvenation of the physical body and mental body as well, I'm feeling. South Node is about releasing toxicities, allowing what is not in your control to be surrendered. That is kind of a surefire way of working with the split here of what do I focus on. I believe asking the question, what do you really want, is going to be super helpful whenever making any choices. You are stable all in all. 4th house is where Cancer is notably placed. So home and family is really strong here. Your emotional body, you're feeling more intuitive as well. It seems like you can see a little bit farther into the future, or you're being more clever with your resources, kind of planning ahead, being practical about things as well. There is a grounded and humble approach. So whoever this extremely stubborn, unwilling to change is, it does not come from you here. It's something else. Perhaps it's a circumstance, does not have to be a person. But if you're dealing with authority figures, it could be a boss or a supervisor of sorts who wants something done kind of their way exactly. If you work in healing professions, it's likely to find new people. There's a lot of loyalty here, so definitely you're being very respected for the things that you do contribute into other people's lives and to your work and to your home life as well. There is, I'm feeling a temperance vibe for some reason with Virgo. It's like, all in all, it's good flowing, okay? But there are some things that need to be released. So the South Node could be talking about this. There is a conflict and we need to work through that, kind of release things that are just not needing our focus at this time or are not a priority to us right now, right? Okay, so that's what I have for you, Cancerians. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can do so through the Etsy link. It's in the description box in the comment below. And please check your sun, moon, and rising signs. That way you get the complete picture. But if you want to prioritize, it would be the rising sign first, the sun sign if you are born in the day, and the moon sign if you're born in the night. Okay, so with that, I'm going to wish you a very great month. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.